Well, good evening, folks. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on whereabouts you are joining me from. I hope that I find you very well indeed. And thanks for coming over just to spend the next 5 or 6 minutes with me, and I'll run you through how I made this amazing slab scone. Would you just look at it? It's incredible. And it tastes absolutely divine. The texture of this thing is, oh, it's beautiful. It's almost cakey, but it's just got that perfect scone texture. And if you don't overwork this, you're going to end up with a beautiful big scone piled high with strawberries and cream. So this is everything that I used here, but all of these ingredients will be in the show more box underneath the video. So I've got some eggs, some flour, some strawberries and cream, obviously. I've got some butter as well. I'm using Demerara sugar, but you can use plain white sugar if you prefer. I've got a wee drop of milk. I've also got some white sugar. I'm using caster sugar, but again, any sugar will be fine in this. Just use whatever you've got. A wee bit of vanilla and a wee touch of baking powder as well. So the first thing we're going to do is get your strawberries nice and syrupy and saucy. And to do that, just slice your strawberries in half, get rid of the wee green bits, pour on your sugar and then a wee drop of vanilla. Give it a good stir. Let this sit for probably about 45 minutes. The longer you let this sit, the better, because they are just going to get juicier and more syrupy. So do that thing, right at the beginning. Do that first. So pop your flour into a bowl. We're going to start the scone now, followed by the baking powder and then your sugar, whatever sugar you are using. Give that a wee stir around just to combine everything. And then we're going to add the butter. Now this is room temperature unsalted butter. You can use salted butter if you prefer, but this one is unsalted. You just want to rub the fat into the flour with your fingertips. This will not take long at all. If you are using room temperature butter, it will just disappear into the flour. It'll take you about 2 or 3 minutes. You can do this with a stand mix as well, but I just don't think it's necessary. And once it starts to clump together like that, you're good to go. And grab your eggs, gently whisk them. Look at the colour of these eggs. That looks like tomato soup. Put about 3/4 of your eggs into your flour and then your milk as well. And you just want to stir this together quite gently until it all comes together in a sticky dough. So yeah, use 3/4 of your eggs. Keep a wee bit back for the end because we're going to use that as an egg wash. Again, this will only take you a couple of minutes and you will have a very sticky dough by the end. But you should have nothing dry in the bottom of your bowl. Pop some more flour onto your work surface, spread it out and then just tip your bowl on top of your flour, and you just want to sort of gather this all together and push it into a sort of rectangle shape. Again, you don't have to overwork this. All we're doing is shaping it. We're not rolling it out. We're not going to use a cookie cutter to cut out any scones. You just want this in a kind of rectangle shape. Once you've got a rough rectangle shape, pop it onto some greaseproof paper or non-stick paper, onto a plain baking sheet. Now, if you're not confident in shaping this into a rectangle, you can press this in to a rectangle or a square tin, if you want it perfectly square or perfectly rectangle. I'm not going for perfect because this is not going to hang around for long. Use the remaining of your egg and a wee splash of milk and pop an egg wash on the top. Bake this for about 25 minutes in the middle of your oven. Quite a low heat there, gas 4, 180C or 350F, until it's nice and golden on the top. Now you'll need to let this cool completely before you put your cream on, or the cream will just melt and soak in and you'll end up with a bit of a mess. So do let that cool completely, and you can see by now the strawberries have gone lovely and syrupy and just amazing. To do the cream, just pop your cream into a bowl. I like to pop a wee bit of icing sugar and vanilla just to give it a wee bit of sweetness, because the cream on its own isn't very sweet and the scone isn't overly sweet. So I think that just, it's just perfect putting a wee bit of icing sugar in there. Whip this till it's nice and thick, but not like concrete. You do want to be able to spread this over, so you don't want it too thick like butter. Once you're happy, just spread your cream all over the top of your big scone, followed by the strawberries, as many as you like. Pile them high, and then obviously some of the syrup as well. And all you have to do now is cut it into whatever serving sizes you prefer. If you cut it quite large, you're going to get between 8 and 9, possibly 6 good size servings from this. But they are good size servings, and look at the texture of that thing. It was just incredible. Now you can store this in the fridge, but if you do that, it will dry out a wee bit. If you can, just leave this at room temperature, like I said, especially if you're going to eat this on the day that you make it. There's no need to refrigerate it, but if you're going to keep it for longer, because it's fresh cream, you will need to store it in the fridge. But it's absolutely delicious, and do please give it a go if you've got the ingredients. And just before I go, I wanted to say, as usual, a huge thank you to the supporters of the channel over on my Patreon page, and to the channel members here as well as you all for liking and watching and leaving your lovely comments. So I'm going to go off now, and I will catch up with you during the week for my wee shopping haul. Not sure where we're going this week. We might end up in Aldi just for a wee change, and then of course we'll be back on Sunday for meals of the week. And if you're not following me over on Instagram yet, I'm What's for Tea 3 over there, and it would be lovely to see you. So whenever you join me again, or whenever I see you, mind to take care of yourselves. And from our humble kitchen in Scotland to yours wherever you are in the world, lots of love, take care, and bye for now. Bye now.